Hello guys, welcome to YouTube channel SathwikPorika. Today we are telling about the units. First of all, what is mean by units? Unit is an okay. First of all, what is units? Units is a standard quantity. What is mean by standard quantity? The specific quantity. అంటే ఏంటిదంటే unit is a quantity which can derive as the specified of an object or an size, then it is known as unit. Okay, next, units. There are so many types of quantities, like more physical quantity, derived quantities, and more quantities which will there in the chapter. We was discovered about the units and also measurements and also distance and displacement, scalar quantity, what is meant by vector quantity, and units, fundamental units, and the derived units. First we all see is that physical unit. Physical quantities అంటే ఎనీ పర్టికులర్ ఆబ్జెక్ట్ వీ కెన్ బి మెజర్డ్. అంటే ఏదైనా ఒక వస్తువుని దాన్ని మనం కొలిచామనుకో, దాన్ని మనం ఫిజికల్ క్వాంటిటీ అంటాం. ఎనీ పర్టికులర్ quantity of an object is called physical quantity. Okay, some examples of physical quantity: length, velocity, time, momentum, and force. ఓకే, ఏదైనా ఒక ఫిజికల్ క్వాంటిటీని దాన్ని మనం మెజర్ చేయగలిగితే దాన్ని మనం ఫిజికల్ క్వాంటిటీ అంటాం, ఏదైనా పర్టికులర్ క్వాంటిటీ. ఓకే, నెక్స్ట్, మన ఫిజికల్ క్వాంటిటీస్ ఎన్ని టైప్స్ అంటే ఫిజికల్ క్వాంటిటీస్ అనేది 2 types. ఫస్ట్ వన్ ఈజ్ ఫండమెంటల్ క్వాంటిటీ, మరొకటి డెరివైడ్ క్వాంటిటీ. ఫండమెంటల్ క్వాంటిటీ అంటే ఏంటిదంటే ఇట్ ఈస్ ద ఫిజికల్ క్వాంటిటీ బట్ ఇట్ కెన్ ఎక్స్ప్రెస్డ్ యాజ్ ఇట్ టర్మ్స్. అంటే ఏదైనా ఒక ఫిజికల్ క్వాంటిటీని తీసుకుంటే దాన్ని ఎక్స్ప్రెస్ సపరేట్గా దాని ఒక వాల్యూని మనం ఎక్స్ప్రెస్ చేస్తే దాన్ని ఫండమెంటల్ క్వాంటిటీ అంటాం. సపోజ్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ తీసుకుంటే మనం లెంత్ కావచ్చు, లేకపోతే మాస్ కావచ్చు, లేకపోతే టైం కావచ్చు. ఓకే, నెక్స్ట్, డెరైవ్డ్ క్వాంటిటీస్ అంటే దానికి ఆపోజిట్, ఫండమెంటల్ క్వాంటిటీస్కి ఆపోజిట్. ఫండమెంటల్ క్వాంటిటీస్ మనం ఏం చెప్పాము, ఎక్స్ప్రెస్ చేసేదాన్ని మనం ఫండమెంటల్ క్వాంటిటీస్ అంటాం. ఆపోజిట్ ఏంటిది, కెనాట్ ఎక్స్ప్రెస్. డెరివేడ్ క్వాంటిటీ అంటే ఇట్ ఈస్ ఎ ఫిజికల్ క్వాంటిటీ which cannot be measured. ఓకే, రైట్. మన ఒక క్వాంటిటీని ఒకవేళ దాన్ని కరెక్ట్ ఎక్స్ప్రెస్ చేయకపోతే దాన్ని మనం డెరైవ్డ్ క్వాంటిటీ అంటాం. ఎగ్జాంపుల్ చూసుకుంటే వాల్యూమ్ కావచ్చు, వెలాసిటీ కావచ్చు, యాక్సిలరేషన్ కావచ్చు. ఓకే, నెక్స్ట్, సిస్టమ్ ఆఫ్ యూనిట్స్. మనకు సిస్టమ్ ఆఫ్ యూనిట్స్ ఏమేమి ఉంటాయి? సిస్టమ్ ఆఫ్ యూనిట్స్ ఎఫ్పిఎస్ కావచ్చు, సిజిఎస్ కావచ్చు, ఎస్ఐ యూనిట్స్ కావచ్చు. మళ్ళీ ఎఫ్పిఎస్ని ఎవరు కనిపెట్టారు? బ్రిటిష్. ఫ్రమ్ ద బ్రిటిష్ ఆఫ్ ఎఫ్పిఎస్ సిస్టమ్ వాస్ కన్క్లూడింగ్, and CGS also French, and also the SI is MKS. Okay, and also FAS length and mass and time. ఓకే, సిస్టమ్ ఆఫ్ యూనిట్స్లో లెంత్ ఏమంటాం ఫుట్. నెక్స్ట్ సిజిఎస్లో సెంటీమీటర్ అండ్ ఎస్ఐలో మీటర్. ఓకే, మాస్ పౌండ్స్ని కేజీ అండ్ ఎంకేఎస్లో కేజీ. సారీ. మనం బ్రిటిష్ ఎఫ్ఏ సిస్టంలో లెంత్ ఫుట్ అండ్ ఆల్సో మాస్ పౌండ్స్ అండ్ టైం. ఓకే, నెక్స్ట్ మనం ఫ్రెంచ్కి వచ్చేసి సిజిఎస్ సిస్టమ్ సెంటీమీటర్, కేజీ అండ్ ఆల్సో సెకండ్స్. అండ్ ఎంకేఎస్ ఎస్ఐ, కేజీ, seconds. Okay, this is about system of units. Next we have going to the fundamental quantities of symbol. లెంత్ దేంతో మెజర్ చేస్తారు? లెంత్ కావచ్చు, మాస్ కావచ్చు, టైం కావచ్చు, ఎలక్ట్రిక్ కరెంట్ కావచ్చు, ఆస్మోర్, టెంపరేచర్, దెన్ we have the quantity of substance. Okay, and also intensity of light. Okay, then the SI unit of length meter and mass defined as kg and time is seconds and electric ampere and temperature Kelvin and quantity of a substance mole and intensity of light candela CANDLA. లెంత్ను దేంట్లో మెజర్ చేస్తాం? మీటర్లో, మాస్ని కేజీలో, టైంని సెకండ్స్లో. ఎలక్ట్రిక్ కరెంట్ we have the unit of like ampere and temperature Kelvin and quantity moles of substance, intensity of light candela. Okay, next we have the derived units. మనం ఫిజికల్ క్వాంటిటీస్లో 2 టైప్స్ ఆఫ్ క్వాంటిటీస్ అనుకున్నాం, ఫండమెంటల్ అండ్ డెరైవ్డ్. ఫండమెంటల్ క్వాంటిటీకి వచ్చేది ఇంతకుముందు చెప్పిన లెంత్ కావచ్చు, మాస్, టైమ్, ఎలక్ట్రిక్ కరెంట్, టెంపరేచర్, క్వాంటిటీ ఆఫ్ సబ్స్టెన్స్, ఇంటెన్సిటీ ఆఫ్ లైట్. ఓకే, నౌ వీ హ్యావ్ డిస్కసింగ్ అబౌట్ డెరైవ్డ్ యూనిట్స్. డెరైవ్డ్ ఏంటి అంటే కెనాట్ బి ఎక్స్ప్రెస్డ్ అని ఇంతకుముందు టాపిక్లో చెప్పాము ఫస్ట్. అండ్ నెక్స్ట్ వచ్చేసి ఇప్పుడు డెరైవ్డ్ క్వాంటిటీస్. ఓకే, డెరైవ్డ్ క్వాంటిటీస్కి వచ్చేసి డెరైవ్డ్ క్వాంటిటీస్. నెక్స్ట్ ఇప్పుడు వెలాసిటీ. వాట్ ఈస్ మీన్ బై వెలాసిటీ? Velocity is nothing but displacement by time. It has the particular displacement time. Okay, next power. What is mean by power? Power is equal to work by time. Okay, and next one is speed. Speed is equals to, here I am writing not this space, distance by time. Okay, and the torque. What is mean by torque? Torque is nothing but which how the force is applied into the perpendicular distance. We know that is an torque. Okay, we have the derived units with that symbol of derived units. Like first one is speed, and next is velocity, and next is acceleration. What is the speed? SI unit, meter per second. Next, velocity. What is mean by velocity is the unit meter per second, and that acceleration meter per second square. How we get the speed? What is the formula of speed? Distance by time. Distance means what? We consider as the length, no? Then in the before of topic, fundamental quantities of symbol, what is that? Length means meter, time is time, second. That's why came meter per second. Okay. Next, velocity. What is mean by velocity? Velocity is nothing but distance by time. Again this like these the two which have the these two are the same SI units. Okay. Then acceleration, how is game? What is mean by acceleration? Change of velocity by change of time. Change of velocity by change of its time. Okay. Velocity means velocity means okay, acceleration is meter per second square, and the velocity is change in acceleration is mean by change velocity into time. What is mean by velocity? Velocity is nothing but meter per second. Next, again change of time. Time means seconds. This second go will up will get the meter per second square. Okay. And next is force. And next is energy, and next is area, and next volume. These are the SI unit. What is means by force? A particular object can be moved in a part of its own time. Force. The SI unit of force is Newton. And the energy is joule. And the area is length into length. Length means what in the before topic? Meter. Meter into meter. How much? Meter square. Okay. And volume. Length into breadth into height. L means m, length, breadth also m, and height is m. Then totally final meter cube. Okay. And next we have about density. Okay. Linear density. Just these are the units, and the distance, and the displacement. Okay. What is the density SI unit? kg per meter cube. And the linear density kg per meter. And the distance is length also know by distance. Speed is equal to distance by time now. Speed is equal to distance by time. Distance by time means what is mean by distance by time is equal to speed. Okay. Distance means what? Distance means length means a mass. Time means seconds. Speed is equal to distance by time. Again here second. Speed. Then second cancel. We get that distance is equal to m and displacement is equal to m. Okay. Next. The next is there are many like SI unit, refractive index, relative permeability, Mach number, viscosity, and also they have the surface tension and magnetic flux density, resistance, conductance, conductivity. Okay. These are the SI units, and more we have, but we have to know that before the topic of SI unit. Next we have the going to the kinematics. Okay, in the kinematics we have that kinematics we have that two types of, one is scalar quantity and another is vector quantity. What is mean by vector quantity and what is known by scalar quantity? మనం స్కేలర్ క్వాంటిటీలో చూస్తే ద ఫిజికల్ క్వాంటిటీ ఆఫ్ ఎన్ ఆబ్జెక్ట్, ఏదైతే ఒక ఆబ్జెక్ట్ తీసుకొని ఫిజికల్ ఆబ్జెక్ట్ దాని ఒక డైరెక్షన్ కాకుండా దాని యొక్క మ్యాగ్నిట్యూడ్ ఆఫ్ లెంత్ని చూపిస్తే దాన్ని మనం స్కేలార్ క్వాంటిటీ అనొచ్చు. I mean that English, the physical quantity of an object shows only magnitude direction but not the shows only magnitude but not the direction. That is called as scalar quantity. And next we have discussing about scalar quantity. The physical quantity of an object shows its both direction and its magnitude. Okay, vector quantity shows the both direction and magnitude, and the scalar quantity shows only one magnitude but not the direction. This is the difference between scalar quantity and vector quantity. Next the scalar quantity of some examples like speed, distance, work, energy, power, speed of light. Okay, and next about vector quantity. Some examples of pressure, stress, momentum, impulse, and etc. Okay, and more is to be said. Next topic is we have discussing that next topic is distance. What is mean by distance and what is mean by displacement, and what are the difference between distance and displacement we are going to discuss now. Okay, first, this is a straight path of line considering as A and considering as part B. Okay, part A, part B. Some point object is moving like this to point B and point A to and point B. Okay, right? This is the directions as going point A to point B. This is known as distance, and this is point A to point B is known as displacement. We are hearing that the distance. What is mean by distance? Distance is nothing but the total object. What is that? The total length of a part covered by an object is known as distance. What is mean by distance? The total length of an object is covered is known as distance. Okay, all right. The total length of an object covered distance, this is known as what? Distance. What is displacement? From a point A to point B, the shortest distance is known as displacement. Okay, the shortest distance from the point A to point B, the point is known as displacement. Okay, like examples, when an object is traveling in the form of circle like this, ఒక ఆబ్జెక్ట్ ఎప్పుడైతే రౌండ్ షేప్లో ట్రావెల్ అవుతుందో Then distance is what? Distance and displacement. Okay, distance and displacement. The circumference of the circle, that is known as distance. Okay, distance what? Circumference of circle 2 pi r. This is what? Distance. But there is no shortest distance in the circle now. Then the displacement is 0. Understood, guys? Displacement is 0 and distance is 2 pi r. When the object is travels in the form of circles only. Okay, alright. Next, when an object is travel between point A to point B, like this is point A and this is point B. Okay, point A to point B, this is like traveling an object, and the object A to B is traveling in the form of semicircle. Okay, then the distance what? Then the displacement what? Okay, distance is what? The circumference of circle what? 2 pi r. Then is half circle, then divided by 2. How much get? Pi r. This is the distance. Okay, the displacement what? Radius of this semicircle. What is the radius of semicircle? 2r. Okay, this is known as displacement when the object is in the form of A to B in the form semicircle. Okay, next, when an object travel in the form of straight line, like this point A to point B, straight line. What is distance? We know distance you take as 1 x and displacement x. Okay, straight hit the shortest distance is distance what? X, and the displacement is displacement, and the displacement is x. Okay, when the object is traveling in the form of straight line from the point A to point B. Okay, alright. And next is when an object is traveling in the form of vertical plane, in the form of like rocket. You know the rocket? Yes, point A to point B. What is distance? Distance, how much? Going point A to one time and coming down 2 times, then the distance is 2x. What is displacement? There is no the shortest distance now, then the displacement is 0 when the object travels in the form of vertical plane from the point A to point B. Okay, alright. Okay, now we know that simple pendulum in the inter second year oscillations. Okay, 1 minute, I draw like this. What is this called? Bob. Okay, this is point A, this is point B. When an object is placed in the form of simple pendulum like this from point A to point B, point A to point B, then what is distance and what is displacement? What is distance? What is displacement? Any of from the point when an object is traveling in the form of point A to point B, from the point of mean position from point A to point B going and coming as backward B to A, then this is known as one oscillation. What? One oscillation. One oscillation is what? That is distance na. Then what should we write? Distance is greater than or equal to displacement. Okay, next, then we have the topic about velocities. Those are 2 types. One is uniform velocity, and another is non-uniform velocity. Okay, non-uniform velocity. What is meant by non-uniform velocity? The velocity from point A to point B object like this traveling straight line in the form of B, okay, C and D, okay, A, B, C, D. A velocity, we're describing about the non-uniform velocity first, okay. Non-uniform velocity, a velocity which does not have a time and displacement, then it's called non-uniform velocity. Non-uniform velocity అంటే ఏంటిదంటే ఏదైతే వెలాసిటీ ఉంటుందో దానికి పర్టికులర్ టైం అంటూ ఉండదు, ప్లస్ దాని పర్టికులర్ డిస్టెన్స్ అని చెప్పలేము. ఫస్ట్ పాయింట్ ఏ నుంచి పాయింట్ సి వరకు వచ్చినప్పుడు 1 సెకండ్ టైం తీసుకున్నది, సి నుంచి 2కి వచ్చినప్పుడు 2 సెకండ్స్ వస్తుంది, డి నుంచి బికి వచ్చినప్పుడు 3 సెకండ్స్. దానికి పర్టికులర్ టైం ఉండకపోతే యూనిఫామ్ వెలాసిటీ అంటున్నాము. ఓకే, ఆల్ రైట్. అండ్ ఇట్స్ డస్ నాట్ హ్యావ్ ఎనీ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ డిస్ప్లేస్మెంట్. ఈ నుంచి ఈడికి 1 మీటర్ తీసుకోవచ్చు, ఈ నుంచి ఈడికి 2 అండ్ ఈ నుంచి ఈడికి 3. ఈ డయాగ్రామ్ వల్ల మనకి ఏం అర్థమైందంటే వాట్ ఈస్ కన్సిడర్ హెన్స్ నాన్ యూనిఫామ్ వెలాసిటీ does not have the same time and displacement. Okay, this is non-uniform velocity. And the uniform velocity, before we describing about uniform velocity, what is uniform? Uniform means A, B, C, D. Okay, what is mean by uniform? Particular. Okay, particular. From point A to traveling A to C 1 second and C to D 1 second and D to B 1 second. Okay, I write here 1 second, 1 second, 1 second. And point A to B, how much distance we take? 1 meter, 2 meter and 3 meter here to here. C, from the point A to C taking 1 second and C to D 1 second and D to B 1 second. Okay, 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 meter, 1 meter, 1 meter, and A to C taking 1 second and C to D taking 1 second and D to B taking 1 second. What we consider from point A to C, how much? 1 meter distance traveling, displacement, so not distance, and D to B 1 meter. So what is considered? Uniform velocity has its particular displacement and particular time. Okay, next, how you represent this as? From representing this, how, like, how we represent this as? Next, presentation in graph. How is presented in graph? The graph has x-axis and y-axis. Okay, sorry. Y-axis. 1 minute. I change it. Y-axis. Okay. When that velocity in the form of y-axis, then that uniform velocity is parallel to that y. Okay, representation of graph in velocity. Okay, ఎప్పుడైతే ప్రజెంట్ గ్రాఫ్లో రిప్రజెంట్ చేస్తామో y యాక్సిస్ నుంచి x యాక్సిస్ దాకా x యాక్సిస్, ఓకే, అప్పుడు ఇట్లా ప్యారలల్గా ఉంటుంది ఏడ y యాక్సిస్కి. దిస్ ఈస్ ద వెలాసిటీ ఆఫ్ గ్రాస్ representation. Next we have uniform decreasing value. Okay, uniform decreasing value. Okay, what is meant by uniform decreasing value? A graph which shows x-axis sloping down towards y-axis. Okay, a graph uniform decreasing value from the y-axis to x-axis, the graph sloping downward like this. This is known as uniform decreasing value. Okay, and the next is uniform increasing value. Uniform increasing value, this is the opposite of decreasing value. From the middle part of y-axis, the graphic sloping upwards. This is known as uniform increasing value. Okay, next is acceleration. What is meant by acceleration? Acceleration is nothing but change in velocity by time. Okay, change in acceleration, change in velocity by time. Okay, next, equation of motion. Some are the equations of motion which is there in 10th and also in inter. Okay, v is equal to u plus at. Next, v square minus u square is equal to 2as, and s is equal to ut plus of at square.